boogeyman is real, and you found him. I'll kill you all. Fucking crazy. Kill me.
My Dead Baby Boy by Short Story 1. My baby boy, Jacob, recently died of a rare heart disease. The doctors had told us that young children, such as my boy, are more prone to contracting rare diseases. But my boy's heart had just simply stopped. My wife and I live on a large property in a quiet, upper-class neighborhood, and we have a remarkably large garden with a private cemetery in it. This is where my boy was placed into a stone coffin, but not buried under the soil. Both mine and my wife's grandfathers, and now our son, are resting in coffins beside one another. My wife and I will be buried in the cemetery as well when our time comes. That way we can be a family again in the afterlife. My wife, though, struggling with the loss of her first child, has now found herself in a deep depression and is starting to experience schizophrenic episodes. She started doing things like locking herself in the bathroom and screaming Jacob's name over and over, carving his name into the walls of the house, and even tearing apart his now empty bedroom. It breaks my heart, and I try my best to help and comfort her, but she is getting much more unpredictable, and I do not know what to do. I don't believe in psychiatry, and I have faith that we will be able to get through this hard time together. But one night, things took a turn for the worse. All of a sudden, my wife jumped out of bed and ran out of the room. She grabbed a hammer from the garage and ran to the cemetery where our boy rested. She began repeatedly swinging the hammer down on his stone coffin while screaming Jacob's name until it finally cracked open and revealed our dead baby boy. I ran after her, and when I saw my boy again, I swear he had grown a little taller. I started crying when I saw my dead baby boy again. I took the hammer from my wife's hands, and my boy needed to be put into a larger stone coffin and back into the cemetery. I would have locked the cemetery up, but my wife would have gone insane knowing that Jacob was locked inside. And yet again, at 2 o'clock in the morning, she jumped up from bed and went to the garage. She again grabbed the hammer and sprinted through the cold, dark night to the cemetery. She smashed into our dead boy's coffin again. And when I saw him, I noticed he had grown even taller, and his knees were now bending due to a lack of room. I took the hammer from my wife and told her that if she did this again, I would have to lock up the cemetery so she couldn't get in. And even still, she ignored me. And when she did it again, my boy, my dead boy, had grown into a dead man. My heart sank and I groaned in horror, while my wife fell to her knees sobbing. We put our dead boy in a larger stone coffin and locked up the cemetery for good. But I should have known better. With my wife being so determined to get back in, once more, she ran out to the cemetery. She was able to cut through the lock, and when she saw Jacob's body, it had broken through the stone coffin. I had my dead boy's body cremated, and my wife is now in care for her insanity. Rest in peace, my boy.
For more information on this story, please check the show notes below. I truly hope you've enjoyed this experience, and if you did, please leave a like on this video and subscribe for future horrors. Until next time.